Hello and thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Political Platform on Repart Radio and Africa Independent Television AIT. My name is Amechi Anapwe. The conversation about the establishment of state police in Nigeria is moving away from whether it should be done or not to how states of the Federation are prepared for the responsibility of operating state police. There are safeguards that are in place to insulate the state police from being manipulated, especially by state governors for political gain. Are these enough? The Senate on Wednesday passed a constitutional amendment bill following the steps taken by the House of Representatives. After harmonization, the passed constitutional amendment bill will find its way to the 36 state houses of assembly, where 2/3 of them are supposed to pass it, and if they do, it gets back to Abuja for the president to use his signature and create history, establish state police. Welcome the spokesperson of the Senate, Senator Yemi Adoromodu, who will offer us more on this very crucial development. We will also take a look at the People's Democratic Party, PDP, where the two groups claiming to be the authentic leadership and authentic party are two separate events in Abuja. That was on Wednesday. Issued certificates of return to their candidates for the 2027 general election. Now, these two groups have issued certificate of return, but what will matter now is which of these groups will INEC release the code for it to upload the names of candidates to its server. All eyes on INEC as to which of these groups will get his nod. And when that happens, candidates in the other group will wait for 2031 before they can contest for any other political position, as the window to move from one political party to the other may have indeed ended. I have my colleagues here with me, Uju Ejay and Mustafa Mohammed. Welcome to the program, Uju. Let's start from you, the People's Democratic Party. The problem started years ago, up till now, on the eve of INEC issuance of codes to political parties to upload the list of candidates. It's not yet clear as to which of these parties will get the nod, but we know the group that has its name published in INEC's website, the Wicked Group.
Well, Amechi, the PDP, it's quite a surprise that up till now they have not been able to get their acts together. But of course, you know the person who is holding them to by the jugular. And the same person held them by the jugular in the last election, 2023. And because of that, they were not able to be coordinated enough to make the kind of impact that they should have, and they lost a lot of states as a result. Now, the same thing is playing out. The Wicked Group is not ready to let go. And it's like the Turaki Group is saying, look, we cannot bow to these people. I mean, we are the real people. We are elders in this party. How can they come and overrun us? But somehow, they say there are no permanent friends, no permanent enemies in politics. And we expect that somehow they should find a meeting point. They should find a meeting point. The Wicked Group should be able to give and take.
Is there room for a meeting point now? They have taken different routes. So one side is going to be a winner takes all. One side loses all, one side gains all.
I mean, ordinarily, that is what they should have done. But as it is now, I think it is too late. And the Turaki faction should just maybe calm down. Because if INEC has the Wicked Group, because we saw what happened in Rivers, it is members of the Wicked Group that won, that INEC recognized. So I think you should just calm down and look for other ways or other things to do to become relevant. I mean, we don't need any prediction.
They may resort to the courts.
Yes, we don't need any prediction to know what will happen and which faction would be recognized by INEC. Yes, they may resort to the courts, but going to the courts all the time, how much time do they have? Mustafa, it's a dicey situation for them.
Mustafa, I take a look at the people that will lose out, those candidates that their names will not be uploaded, and they are in their numbers.
I think the whole thing about the People's Democratic Party has become a comedy, a serious comedy. I would like to describe them as that, entertaining everyone because you don't know what funny thing will happen next, either from the court or from the party member. This was a party, a very promising party in 1999 when democracy returned. These were people with all the pride telling everyone that they will rule for 60 years non-stop. In fact, PDP was the bride, was an envy from the AD, the APP. If you are looking for a big party, in fact, many of them have said several times, the biggest political party in Africa, then you start asking yourself, what has become of this mega party? You know, the biggest problem is the inability of party members at the top to compromise their greed for the sake of unity of the party. They have experienced several court cases. And of course, it's the same party that has undermined democracy by announcing people who have not won election when the coalition was still going on, winners were announced, and then will tell you, if you disagree, go to the court. But 16 years into their unchallenged success, the PDP is in shambles. Remember the court cases when Ali Modi Sharif became the party leader. Obasanjo has changed several party chairmen, and that will tell you that even as at that time, the People's Democratic Party was heading to the rocks. What will
you think that's when the decay started?
Yes, that was when the decay started. Don't look at what is just happening now. You know, when you have a human society, what will make people live in peace is compromise. Even your own wife at home, there are things you do, you like to do, she doesn't like, so you have to stop doing it for peace to reign. There are things a woman in the house does that you don't like, but then she will have to compromise, stop doing it because she wants peace to reign. So as gentlemen, it's never too late to come together, put their differences aside, bring about this compromisation of various conflicts that I'm talking about to have, something great for the next general election. But as it is now, time is not in their favor.
The INEC would issue codes to political parties on June 26th, Friday, and that's just less than 24 hours to come. So it will just take 24 hours to know who the losers and the winners will be for the PDP.
Let's not pretend. I think, like I said, we don't need to predict. I mean, it's as clear as can be whose side would get the code. But I think that, the problem of the PDP, the greatest problem of the PDP are the moles within the party, the saboteurs within the party. From what Mustafa traced, you could tell, I mean, we saw the case of the national chairman of PDP donating 100 million naira to the presidential candidate of another party. That was Buhari. I mean, how can such a party survive such treachery and sabotage? PDP has had moles within its circle. It has had saboteurs within its circle, and that is what is responsible. Even from what we are seeing today, you could still tell. And then it has not been able to find a way to get out of that vicious circle that it found itself. And so it will stay where it is until it is able to wriggle out of that, or it will die naturally.
And don't forget the fact that when they were at the peak of their power, they have sponsored other political parties. They have sent people to other political parties to cause crisis. And most members of the party, the PDP, have moved to several other parties, whether the APC, the NDC, the ADC, and we wouldn't forget the...
So the party is stripped.
Yes, of course, you're talking about when Erufai and others formed the new PDP. They became a very strong bloc with the CPC and the party from the southwest that formed the APC. So if you look at even the APC itself, one side are strangers, the other side, of course, those who form the APC, but the PDP is there, and PDP is in NDC, in ADC, is everywhere. Their supporters have also moved out. So even if they unite,
perhaps there are a few politicians today
but even
who have not been associated with PDP since 1999.
Yes,
maybe less than 20%.
Yes, but let me tell you something, Amechi. Those followers who are not waiting for the PDP to come and unite so that they can have a free sale. A lot of these followers have moved to other political parties. Politicians,
it will be difficult to get them back, even if the PDP unites. Akpabio, all of them.
It's not just Akpabio. Akpabio is actually at the top. But you are talking about the actual voters. Akpabio has one vote. But you are talking about people who can bring about values. Millions of votes have moved to other political parties because they found that the center can no longer hold. It's so sad.
But you see, planting of moles, it goes. You find it in every political party. The APC also plants in PDP. PDP plants. It's a game that politicians play. Usually in those times in Lagos, the AD had them in APP, in PDP, and it was come scatter the party. We saw the visual of allegedly by the chief of staff.
No, he said it.
Yes.
He told Abeji they remain in
exactly.
ADC, scatter the party. That's the word
so they always do that. It's their game, and they know how to play it.
It's about party supremacy and lack of loyalty. Go to the developed democracies, whether it's in India or Europe, you go to the American continent, you find one person who has been in a political party, a particular political party, for over 50 years. You're talking about 5 decades. Now, no matter what happens, whether they lose at the polls or not, they'll continue to stay back and build that party. In Nigeria, what happens? What happens in Nigeria is that they try to, the game in Nigeria is to join politics, make a lot of money. There's a particular senator who is not in the Senate now. I was privileged, opportune to cover his first case in the court in Abuja. He couldn't even dress well. But when he came to the National Assembly later, after about over a decade,
he became dapper.
He became a billionaire. You go to his house, you see over 20 cars.
See, this is part of the problem we're having is because parties are no longer formed along ideological lines. In those days, it was very difficult to see like an Aoist, somebody from the Action Group or UPN, moving to the NPN or another political party, because parties were
or whatever you want to mention.
Exactly. You knew what PRP stood for. And those who believed in PRP believed with everything. The same thing with UPN. They would not compromise those ideals. They would not compromise those ideologies. But today it's easy for them to move anyhow. Because
maybe the nature of the formation of political parties in 1999 and even 1979 didn't help Nigeria's democracy. Talk of how parties evolve in the pre-independence period, the nationalist struggle, how persons who have ideas about how our society should be governed brought people of like mind and they formed political parties. And we knew what they would do if they were in power. We knew the direction they would take as to education, as to government being in business, as to health. But perhaps when the military was handing over in 1979 and 1999, it was more of a fire brigade. IBB talked about a little to the right and a little to the left, SDP and NRC. I mean, they tried all manners of experiments. It became like, just put them together, let's hand over and let's get off from politics. And since then, parties in Nigeria have not really recovered. There has been no direction. It was the late Bola Ige that had a hand in all the 3 major political parties. Their constitution in 1999. So if one man could be involved with writing the manifesto of the three different political parties, how do you expect to see a difference? You will not.
No,
So
but there was a reason.
special
There was a
purpose vehicle.
reason it happened.
Yes.
Because you see, Bola Ige was part of the G18, G34 that eventually, that came up at that early stage.
Formed the PDP.
And formed the PDP. But they now found some of the people that they did not align with. That's what I'm talking about.
Strange bedfellows.
Strange bedfellows. They moved. They wanted to move to the APP. And when they met people, I remember late Mantu and a few of them, they said, no, these are Abacha politicians. All the people that played politics when Abacha came up with those political parties.
The five fingers of lepers, they call it?
Exactly, yes. The five leprous fingers, that they didn't want to be associated with them. So they now moved. They formed AD. About an hour or two to the end of party registration. We were all at INEC that day here in Abuja. They submitted their form about 2 hours.
And Abdulsalami told us recently in his book presentation 2 weeks ago that AD did not meet the threshold, the criteria.
They just
but
gave it to them.
National peace and unity, it has to be registered.
Those men were
the
agitators and activists.
Abacha boys, politicians, some of them became governors, some of them came to the Senate. And the one factor is the money politics. Of course, when you have a lot of poverty or you have greedy people around and they see that in a particular party which is in government, they will have access to government funds. That's what's happening. What happened to the ideology of political party, for example, the party officials, elected officials, being on the same page? If it's water, electricity, roads, each part of the country in the same ruling party in the state needed, the party will push these governors to provide what these people need. The same thing with the federal policies in all these things. But hardly you find the governors even being on the same page with the president. Poverty is at its peak. They are collecting billions of naira. They are having 40 cars in their convoys, taking jobless people to Jerusalem and Mecca, where the prayer that God didn't answer here to take you out of poverty because you are lazy. You think God will answer that when you go to Mecca or Jerusalem? We need to be realistic. We have too much religion in one.
Let's go for a break now.
And the lawmakers have not had it better than now.
We'll go for a break. When we come back, our guest is here with us, spokesperson of the Senate. He'll be offering perspectives on the Senate's action that saw to the passage of the amendment of the Constitution Bill seeking to establish state police. Very crucial developments in the annals of our history. Who will join us to provide perspectives after the short break. Do stay with us.
Consensus among stakeholders, including state governments, traditional institutions, civil society organizations, security experts, and notable scholars on the need to decentralize policing, while also preserving national unity and security coordination.
In my senatorial district, we lost over 80 people in Torita local government to bandits attack. Only 3-4 days ago, in the same local government, we lost some personnel of police that went there on rescue mission to send away bandits. So that is a clear picture of what is happening in most parts of the country. This is needed.
That he who pays the piper will also dictate the tune. So what we will have to ensure that we go into the act is that funds that we go to the state police commission must be guaranteed by the constitution and go directly to the commission, so that what we are seeing today with regard to local government funds, we don't have to see it with the police.
Your concerns have been the concerns of all Nigerians since 1961. Even those of us who have been privileged to be in government know that no condition is permanent. And one day we'll leave government, and sometimes we, the leaders, we've also had the opportunity starting from Senator Alero, Senator Ojus Okalu, so many of us here, Senator Ome, those who are governorship makers. We've also had the opportunity of making governors who try everything to make sure that you don't even enter the states. And that time they had no state police. So now with state police, they can cordon off the entire state with your name in their hands. And if they see you, they may not even shoot you, but they may beat you to a point where nobody notices that they have been beaten. But at the end of the day, I can tell you that can lead to your death.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Senate spokesperson Senator Yemi Adoramodu has joined us now to offer perspective on the historic development that took place in the Senate on Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, good morning, my dear brother, and good morning to Nigerians. Yeah.
And I was wondering, because I reached the conclusion that majority of Nigerian politicians have had one thing or the other to do with PDP. Have you been involved with PDP?
No. I've never been, and I will not be, and I will never be. So I've never been PDP. I've never even come near PDP. So, and I don't think I will ever be very near PDP, not even joining them. So, and not majority of politicians, but when you talk about politicians, we have ideological politicians, we have momentary politicians, we have politicians who just want to join politics just to fill up the numbers.
Do we still have the ideological ones?
Yes, we do, because when we look at Nigeria today, and let me just, historically, the Afenifere AD, let's just come to where we are now.
Yes.
Let's come to the recent historical facts about Nigeria political history now, so which everybody will remember. So those people that started AD then, you can hardly find any of them move to PDP or to any other party. The AD had some problems, sometimes hiccups. That was several years back. The AD metamorphosis to AC, then to ACN. Then after some time, the AD then that became ACN had to maybe go and do a marriage of
convenience?
Not convenience. It's a marriage of
necessity.
Of necessity. Yes, with
Maybe
CPC.
maybe you forgot that in 2003, the senator, the governors from the southwest supported Obasanjo in his bid to come back. Was that not kind of moving to the PDP, or
No.
tribalism that was at play?
No, it's not tribalism. It's not a kind of, because we thought we thought that 4 years would not be enough for a president to have done everything that he wanted to do.
Even though he's not from your party?
Yes.
How do you justify that?
That's our belief. Because number one is that when we do politics, we don't do politics blindly. We do politics and wherever is good in anybody, even if you are in the opposition, we always make sure that we encourage that person to move on.
But you had a very good material in Falai.
Not only that. No, Falai was not contesting. Falai contested 1998. He contested 1998. So with us, he contested 1998, not in 2003.
So Eddie did not feel the candidate.
He was told not to bother, that he should just allow Obasanjo.
Look,
had the inside news.
What happened was this: when those people that started PDP were the ones who now went ahead to form AD, Bolaigi and Co. So when we now got to then I was not fully into this active politics then.
You were with us then?
No. Yes, yes.
As a journalist.
I was a journalist then. So what happened was that when they formed PDP then, and they found out that at their first convention and their first NEC meeting, they found out all those people of Nigeria had always been talking against that these people made it possible for the military to perpetrate themselves. These are the military apologists. These are those people who had never allowed development to come to Nigeria and to Nigerians. Now they converge in that PDP then. That was when those people who had the ideology, who are ideologically driven in politics, that was when they decided to opt out and said that, look, we are not going to sleep on the same bed with these people. or else everybody in Nigeria will tar them with that kind of a brush of dark injuries. So they now moved to form AD. So forming AD, then they knew they couldn't make it to the presidency because it was already very late.
It was a regional party at that time.
No, it was look.
It was a regional party at that time.
Anywhere, even in journalism, there are newspapers that are regional. There are
But
newspapers
when
that
it comes
are
to
even
politics, distinguished senator,
Yes.
is different. Was it not the same
No, it's not
lack
different.
of alliance that
In
stopped
politics,
Awolowo from
in
getting
politics,
to the top?
look at your strength. In politics, you can even be in a political party and you control 3 or 4 local government areas. If the local government areas are independent, if they have autonomy, and you develop that your local government area, even the first and second republic that we are talking about, during that period, almost everything was regional, but we knew the regions and the parties that were developing their own people then. So definitely, like we say, every politics is local. So first of all, look at the wishes of your people, look at the needs of your people, look at what you know you can control, look at the area you think you can control, and give your people what they want so that it will set a standard and an example to those people that
Will you say that the AD were remnants of Awoist?
Oh yes, surely.
Now, so the AD that progress on those Awoist philosophies,
Yes.
metamorphosed into
Yes.
ACN and into
And
APC.
yes.
But a lot of people have said the Tinubu administration is implementing policies that are not of Awo. Because Awo is more of welfareism, but this president is doing capitalist neoliberal politics, giving way to capitalists and businesses.
My brother,
private businesses.
even what you have invited me to talk about today, state police, is still part of that welfareist politics of Awo. It's part of it. And then it is happening during the period that somebody who believes in that Awo's ideology, that welfareist, social welfareism, is now in charge of the affairs of Nigeria. That is President
Why is
Bola
there so
Ahmed
much
Tinubu.
hardship? Why is there so much hardship?
So
and
much.
it's like
Look,
the government is insensitive.
My sister, let me tell you something. Economy, global economy is not about one country. It's global. And then, like in recent times when we are talking about the closure of Strait of Hormuz and the Iran-US war, Lebanon-Israeli war, and the crisis in the Gulf region, when it happened, it touched everywhere. It touched even in UK. It touched even US. So there's no way Nigeria will be an exemption. So when COVID came, it didn't happen for Nigeria alone. It happened elsewhere, all over the world. And then all over the world, everybody felt it. So there's no way is the world economy like even world politics. You know, the world we now know is like a village. So what happens whenever anything triggers anywhere, it touches everywhere. So it is not only in Nigeria
so
that we can say that there is economic.
Maybe
but the social benefits that other countries enjoy, we don't have.
free education. But
Well,
this government,
I don't live in other countries. I live in Nigeria, and I read literatures about other countries, and I feel it in other countries. And those people that visit other countries, and we too, we do visit other countries. It was not the way other countries were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that other countries are now. So we know that one. Even when you talk about housing in UK or in US, it's not the same thing. It's not the same. It was 5 years ago that it is still now. If you go to pump price of fuel in US, in UK, it's not what it used to be 2 years ago that it is now. So definitely, it's not only in Nigeria. It's not. So when we talk of other countries, so other countries feel it the way we feel it. However, in Nigeria, we had some years of rot. However, let us confess to that.
Okay,
We have
so
had-
you inherited
and then-
problems.
Yes, and now the inherited problems, like I said, you cannot make omelette without breaking an egg.
okay.
And when you break
Now,
an egg,
I want your quick response to our Tinubu policies. Our implemented free education. Tinubu is implementing education loan.
for the first time in the history of Nigeria, a president is even thinking that yes, some students might not be able to even pay their fees, and then introduced that grant to students of higher institutions. So
It's a loan, not grant.
yes, it's a loan, but when you say a loan must carry interest. So if it does not carry an interest, it's somehow like a grant.
You are still paying back.
If you are paying back, it's at your convenience. You are not compared that that immediately you take that 100,000 or 200,000 naira, so you must start paying so time. And then the thing is that even it is so soft to the extent that you must have even gotten employment before you can start doing that.
Time
so
for
definitely, it's more or less like a grant.
Time for
and
us.
apart from even that, what you describe as loan, there are still some other grants that they are being extended to the students.
But free education is free education. And
Yes.
most of the people in government today benefited from free education.
Maybe we need to start talking about the.
Now, education is now in a concurrent list of the Constitution. So once it is in concurrent list, definitely, even if the federal government, even what the federal government is doing, then the state governments should be doing the same. So because that's why I said it is a concurrent list. That time when Awolowo there was nothing like exclusive or concurrent list, and then concurrent and exclusive list was not introduced by the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll get to the business of the day. This is more like a preamble to us. Do stay with us.
The stories now break online. Don't miss anything from our real-time updates and exclusive content. Follow and participate in discussions on live TV studio programs to shape the narratives. Subscribe, engage, and share from AIT.live at AIT_online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, Official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT. On air, online, on live.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Our guest is still with us, Senator Yemi Adoramodu, Senate spokesperson from Ekiti State, still smacking from the electoral success in Ekiti State.
Yes.
APC
Very
winning for the
sweet
first time, back to back for a governor in that state. But that's by the way. Let's come to state police bill that was passed by the Senate.
Yeah.
You were forced off your recess. Is it that the Senate did not consider it crucial enough to attend to it when the House did?
No,
that you had to go to a recess, the president had to send a bill, and you were forced back.
No. That's not it. We were waiting for we have our committee on constitutional amendment, and we are waiting for their reports. And then we have two chambers, the green chamber, the red chamber. That is the House of Reps and the Senate. So and then they did not submit their reports at the same time. And so when the report of the Committee for Constitutional Reform was submitted to the House of Representatives, they took their own before we had that emergency recess. It was just an emergency recess. It was not a recess that was gazetted in our calendar. And why we had it was that so many states, about not less than 8 or 9 states, had off-season elections. And then senators were involved.
By-elections.
By-elections, off-season, by-elections and off-season elections, especially my own state in Ekiti. So there's no way that we will not allow senators to be in their constituencies, because we contested and we are in the National Assembly on the platform of political parties. So that's why we had that one. So now we said, look, we are not going to do an arum-scarum job, whereby we just sit down 30 minutes, 1 hour, blah, 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 just talk, just have 1 or 2 debates, and then we move on. So that's why we said we should go to that, to prosecute those elections. Then during the period, we find out that the committees were still meeting, especially those ones who didn't have that off-season or by-elections. So they were still meeting. And then they completed and concluded their own jobs. And so executive bill joined it again because the executive is on, then the National Assembly is on. So because when we have plenary holiday, that plenary break, that one does not preclude our meeting at committee levels, so which was going on. So definitely when they did that one, we found out that the best for us before everybody resumes is for us to be called, and moreover that by-election, then the off-season election had already been over because they were held all over Nigeria on June 20. So then the National Assembly leadership, that is the Senate, deemed it fit that we have to come back to the chamber to consider the police reform bill. And then the police reform bill had been a recurring decimal among Nigerians. They have been talking about it, and then we know that the sing song everywhere in Nigeria now is about insecurity. And so even when you want to talk about the economy, people will ask about insecurity. When you want to talk politics, people will ask about the
some are
insecurity.
asking that we should stop politics
and by August, when you go by the timetable of INEC, campaigns will commence by the timetable of INEC. Campaigns will commence for 2027 elections. Then are we going to wait till then before we now consider this
let me ask you
very important bill? So we said no, let us consider it now. And then you know that there is always a legislative break at the end of every 4 years, and that one will be happening maybe at the end of July or first week of August. So are we going to wait till then? So that's why we said let us just come back and then consider.
I want to ask you this question, Senator. When you have a lot of poverty, you know that no amount of security agents you can put, whether at the state or federal level, to bring about the needed security.
Security, yeah.
And then the other fallout is, you know how deprived the federal police has been in terms of welfare, logistics, equipment, funding. The state government have to buy bikes, trucks, and whatever, and give physical money. The federal police go for election without allowances several times and made them sleeping outside. Now, what do you think are the dangers the state police are going to use, besides the governor also using them as political talks?
No, my brother. Now, I want to take it two-pronged ways. First, when we talk about insecurity, especially as it concerns Nigeria now, banditry, terrorism, kidnapping, and so on and so forth, I would say that it's not majorly because of hunger. Because if you kidnap someone and you're asking for 50 million naira or 100 million naira, 100 million naira is not to buy gari. If it is hunger, you will go and bog and carry bags of gari or a bag of rice. But when you are asking for 100 million naira, you ask, at times they ask for 500 million naira. Is that to quench hunger? No. It is avarice. It is wickedness. It is evil. And now when you parade AK-47, AK-49 as a machine gun, when you parade that one, anybody that is hungry cannot have that impetus to purchase all those things that have them. Even when you look at the motorcycles they use, because we can see them when they are captured and all sorts. When you see it, and even we have seen on social media when they were displaying their naira wares. So when they do that one, are we saying that it is a product of hunger? No, it is avarice, rapacity, audacious unpatriotism. So that is about that one. And now coming to the state police this thing. Now, in Nigeria, when we are making laws, when Nigerians talk about maybe one problem or the other, and then the National Assembly or the government says, okay, let us make a law, or let us introduce a novel idea like this state police, in order to maybe arrest the spate of banditry and the activities of marauders in Nigeria. But our people will ask for. When it is done, we start criticizing. Criticism should not be condemnation. You can criticize, not
Constructively.
condemnation. Not condemnation. We can say, oh, why can't we do it like this? Why can't we introduce it, this to it? Because law is a living object. So when you make law today, even 2 days after, you can do amendment. So, but
Absolutely.
let a law start first. When the law starts first, you can now see the loopholes. When we say that, oh, because governors, we manipulate, we mismanage, we deploy this to maybe attack their political opponents, we have already put all these safety valves there. All
Okay,
these, we have already put them there.
yes.
That it will be very difficult for a governor to even use that outfit. But when you say it, they will say, okay, and the federal thing they put there, is it not the same thing? Have we going to manufacture another set of human beings who are leaders from heaven? They will be Nigerians. And moreover, the Judicial Council, we have NJC that deals with even appointment of judges. Even when state governors recommend, and we have seen in Nigeria.
When they recommend to
yes,
state
we have
governments,
seen, yes,
they refuse to.
No, we have seen in Nigeria. Where some governors will not want the person that is next, that is supposed to be the chief judge. And then we go and bring somebody, and then the agency will refuse.
That's what the National Police Council would do.
That's what the National Police Council will do. So when the state governor wants to manipulate the process, the Federal Police Council will not allow it. And then when you look at the composition of the Federal Police Council, we now have NLC, we have CSO,
Bar Association, NLC,
all these our civil human rights activities, civil society organizations, they will all be there. They will all be part of it.
So the initial
nomination,
nomination of commissioner of police for a state police will come from this council, and not from the
it's
governor.
not from the council, from the governor. It will come from the governor.
Okay.
It will come from the governor, and then the governor cannot remove that person by fiat. You cannot remove a police commissioner by fiat. You still have to go back.
No, I mean,
Okay, because
the way it is done about chief judges of states today, no governor can just wake up one day and say that I've removed you. You have to go through the NJC. So if the NJC doesn't find that chief judge culpable of whatever offense that the state governor is attached to him or her, then definitely
I actually saw that
he or she
maybe
doesn't go.
because of the fears that the governors might use the state police to serve their own interests, you have to put in those provisions. But do you not think that this could also be detrimental, that the federal might want to influence to a large extent what is going on in the states, and might want to oppress the state and making them less effective than they should?
I will take it along these two ways again. One, are you going to, because of fear of rain and sunshine, you will not move out of your room again? Because, when you get out, it might be raining. When I get out, the sun might be shining too much. So because of that, I will remain permanently indoors. Will you say that one? Are you going to say because we are likely, something is likely, it can be, it may be, then you don't make laws. Then when everybody in Nigeria, when we are now agitating that every security is local, and we have to localize it, that we are not going to use federal medicine to be treating local malaria or local disease, and now we want to introduce local medicine to treat local malaria, and then we are now complaining again that the person who is going to administer that medicine, that medicine for local malaria, is going to take overdose of it. So So does it mean that we should not have police, state police anymore? Is that it?
Certainly
that is one.
not.
Then two, can anybody suggest to us how, apart from all the safety nets that we have already put in those clauses that will make it very impossible for a governor, and now that I said that the Federal Police Council, comprising Labour Congress member, the civil society,
CSOs,
the human rights people, the Bar Association, and several
The
others.
Attorney
But how
General of
much
the
power?
Federation,
And that
How much
6
power can
retired
they
police
wield?
officers.
is a council. It's a council. When there is a council, when you are suggesting anything, you put it to vote.
Okay.
If you put it to vote, if anybody contrive it, then Nigerians will know. So now when you have that, after having all those ones, we are still saying that the federal government, if it's interested in the state and blah blah. In America, we have federal police, we have state, we have county. Now, when there are areas where the federal police can come in, and then in the issue of immigration the other time, when the federal police of Donald Trump came into some states, then some of the states are even saying, no, we don't want federal police to come here. We can handle it by ourselves. Now, and there's another safety net again, that even when those things, when the other organs, when they would have done their own job, then they will still come back to the National Assembly. The National Assembly is an open place, an open space. So what I'm saying is this: even despite the fact that even our own National Assembly today in the Senate, that APC controls a very comfortable majority there, people still argue, people still debate. Even members who are APC members, they still contribute their own quota. They still say it the way they feel it should be, even from their constituents. Look, there's one thing I want us to know. Those of us in the National Assembly, we are beholden to our constituents too. When we get home,
Of course.
they always talk to us.
Yes.
Of course.
And nobody will have the ticket of his party and then go for an election at home, and who will vote against you with their votes.
Before you
Nobody
go further,
wants that.
I would want to find
Nobody,
out whether
nobody wants to see that too. So whatever we do in the National Assembly, we are mindful of the needs and the wants
Correct.
and the interests
So
of our
would there be
constituents.
harmonization of the bills passed by the Senate
course.
and the House before it gets to the state houses of assembly?
That what?
Harmonization. When will it likely take place?
No.
Or is it already harmonized?
This is an executive bill. When an executive bill comes like that, and then we, both chambers, had already taken it up because we had a joint conference committee.
Was it the same executive bill that the House passed?
Yes, there is no difference.
Okay.
Because we had
So there's no need for
had
harmonization.
already had a joint committee that had already met, that had already brought out a synthesized
Copy.
clause by clause
Document.
document. So now the one that the executive will bring is going to be to look at where this can be put out,
Where it fits into your own. Okay.
So it's just like a synthesis, and then after it being passed, then definitely.
before you out there, I want to quickly ask this question.
We are almost out of time.
Yes. The bill was quickly passed. Do you also feel the sense of insecurity Nigerians feel because the Senators' House of Reps will have security agents escorting them with sarin, pushing people off the road? I don't know where you are coming from, because I don't know, and I have never seen. You don't get escorted?
Myself, I am an example. I am the Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I've been in the House of Representatives in the 9th Assembly. I do not have such security agents pushing people by the road.
I think we have to leave it here now. We have to thank you, Senator.
So it's not so.
We have to thank you so much.
We know that perception at times
is stronger than reality.
To reality.
Yeah.
But perception, your
Senator,
perception about the National Assembly member should change. That is
he's ready to engage
engage your own senator, engage your own House of Representatives member, and ask questions. Don't just sit down and then.
You are a Nigerian senator.
Okay.
It doesn't have to narrow down.
We have to leave it here now.
When you engage them, they will
I think
tell you
we need to bring him back to come so that we can talk politics again.
Yes,
Distinguished is ready to engage and engage. I will enjoy the session you have with us
the
today.
time is even very short for us to talk seriously.
We'll come back and talk about whether the hardship is getting to you as much as it's getting to us. That will be for another day.
hardship.
That will be for another day.
But not for today.
The
not
cost
for
of
today.
rice and yam and oil, right?
Let's go and hear from our listeners. Perhaps you will hear what they are saying. We'll have people write to us via mails and express their feelings, express their thoughts about the state of the nation.
Since I cannot respond to them, so why am I waiting? You said you are not going to give me the right to respond.
You hear and take it home. When you come another day, we'll start from there. Let's start from Amechi Obochi in Abuja. And he says, President Tinubu has finally, after 3 years in office, transmitted a bill for the establishment of state police to the Senate for consideration. It is a welcome development, even though many will argue that it's coming rather too late, after thousands of Nigerians have lost their lives to terrorism and other forms of insecurity. However, that is not my main concern. My concern is with the position expressed on this program on Wednesday, yesterday, by Mustafa Mohammed, who openly opposed the idea of state police on grounds that governors will hijack and misuse it. While that concern may not be entirely unfounded, one may also ask, how has the federal police been used over the years? Is it not often accused of being deployed in ways that suit the interests of those at the center? Every system has its advantages and disadvantages. Rather than condemning the state police before it is even given a chance, perhaps Nigeria should test the concept and put in place adequate safeguards against abuse.
And this one is from Emeka Mba from Abuja. In doing his paid job of defending the President Tinubu-led APC government and its policies, the presidential spokesman, Mr. Bayo Ononuga, has made several reckless and insensitive statements that in no small measure insulted the sensibilities and intelligence of Nigerians. But the height of it all is his recent interview on national TV, where he asserted that President Tinubu's economic reforms, including the removal of fuel subsidies, are already yielding tangible benefits for Nigerians, categorically stating that he does not personally observe the level of hardship and hunger that Nigerians are talking about. They get their jumbo emoluments even before they are due, and they live off our collective patrimony, easily affording whatever they want. If our leaders can't improve our poor standard of living, they can at least keep quiet and not add insult to injury with their insensitive statements. Next is from Ugochukwu Godwin from Lagos. He says, Nigeria should have a deliberate national development plan that is not partisan. All the Vision 2010, 2020 and Millennium Development Goals were not futile. This plan will help each state and community to develop instead of the selective work being done on constituency levels. Every government in power will religiously follow each plan and implement it. This practice of each government stopping the idea of projects of their predecessor and starting a new one in their name is not ideal. It has made us to have multiple uncompleted projects and wastage. It will stop the governors from the frivolous competition of carrying out airport projects that have no benefit to the citizens. Our hope doesn't have to be renewed. Our welfare and security need renewal.
Clearly, they do need renewal. And we'll renew the program on Friday when we come back for another edition on behalf of the crew. My name is Amechi, and we'll have a good time.